I lost 100 grand in the bar business, so I had to get on my feet first. But once I put together, a couple commission checks and paid, I think it was 5 grand to go through that course. I was fine. Now I was in real estate, but I was broke. So I was wholesaling, trying to work with people. And I was, doing all right, but by the way, now I got 3 jobs. I'm selling radio by day. I'm bartending still at another bar now, a night or two a week because I'm broke, trying to pay off 100 grand of debt. And well, not 100, but some of it was my money, but pay off debt.
Yeah.
And now I'm out on weekends, Saturday and Sunday morning, looking for
real estate.
Yeah, real estate. So I got 3 jobs now. But then another client came along, and they were a developer, a high-end multifamily developer, and they were developing properties that they wanted to advertise to our audience. And I got very friendly with the broker.
Welcome to the Yacht Captain Investor Podcast. I'm your host, Scott Kidd, where every week we dive deep into conversations with real estate pros, business owners, and maritime professionals about their mindset and journey to success. Please help support us on our journey and our channel by liking, subscribing, and commenting below so we can help you in your journey to success.
How you doing today? Scott Kidd, the Yacht Captain Investor Podcast. Today I have a new friend, Joe Downs. How you doing today, Joe?
Doing great, Scott. I'm not quite as well as you are sitting on a yacht, but I'm pretty happy with where I am.
Well, you should be, and you've built yourself quite a successful business there in storage. But for people that don't know much about you, let's give us a brief background and an intro about yourself.
Yeah, so I learned, looking backwards, that I guess I am an entrepreneur. I was kind of one of those like head down, got kicked around, beaten up, knocked down, had to reinvent over the years, but never really stopped to look around and figure out, what was going on. What am I doing? Are you an entrepreneur? These thoughts never really occurred to me. I was just like a doer. And and looking back and really, as the more I've been a guest on podcasts and stuff like that, I've realized, oh wait, I actually have an interesting journey and life story. I don't know how interesting it is, but my journey was I after college, I was a financial advisor for a bunch of years. Didn't really want to be. Always wanted to be in real estate. Got my teeth kicked in my first venture outside of that, trying to own a bar and restaurant, because every guy should own a bar, right? Because that's and it wasn't even the bar part. Like, I had the bar part down because I bartended for 10 years too. My first clue I was an entrepreneur. I always had 2 and 3 jobs at the same time, but again, I'm slow in the uptick, so I couldn't even recognize it in myself. But the restaurant part is what really hurt me. I didn't know how to run a restaurant, and I lost it over that. Didn't even make it a year. But that experience forced me to reinvent, and it forced me, while it was not a fun experience, and I wouldn't tell you if I was in the middle of it, this is the greatest thing ever happened to me. I can look back on it and tell you it was pretty good for my long-term growth and where I projected and where I ended up. I often actually think about that. Not often, but every now and then you think about, especially when people talk about bars or restaurants, or if you're out in them, like, man, I'm glad I wasn't successful, because that is a tough life. I have the utmost respect for people that not only have successful bars and restaurants, but like open multiple locations. Like, holy cow. That to me is like, being a mother, a stay-at-home mom is like hardest job number 1. Being a restaurateur to me is hardest job number 2.
Yeah, that's most definitely a very tough business. I have a few friends that are in it, and I used to wait tables, bartend, bar back, and bus tables and stuff, and that was a great job. I liked it because you were always moving, and you made tips and stuff, and it was great while you're going to school, even after school. But
and a great second job if you're doing something just extra money. And I think it's a great people skills job. It's a great job, great business to be a part of, just to own it and run it. God bless those people. I clearly wasn't cut out for it, but
there's a lot of money going in the trash, going out the door, being spilt on the floor, and that's, if you can make it in the restaurant business, like you said, it's a
almost
tough.
make it in any business.
Yeah, you really can. I mean, because it learns you. I mean, it learns you. Yeah, way to go. I obviously didn't learn English, but it teaches you a lot of those lessons that are very, very valuable. But how did you make that transition, like, into the real estate after being a bartender and everything
not
else?
directly, not direct. It wasn't that's not a natural bridge. Failed restaurant right into real estate. But I went through. First, I had to pick myself up and just get a job and pay the rent and feed myself. So networked my way into a job selling radio. Not what I wanted to do, but open mind. One door closes, another door opens. You just never know. And two of my clients that came along. One was a real estate education company called Real Estate Riches. This is 20 something years ago. I don't even know where these guys are today. I hope they're doing well. They were good guys. But they were teaching people how to buy, rehab, and either flip or rent single family properties back before there were webinars, right?
And
so you
TV shows
in person. And before TV shows, you had to show up in person at a hotel. First of all, they advertised it on the radio. That's how they got butts and seats, right? Talk radio, which is what I was selling, AM, radio. And so I just, after going to enough of these seminars, I was like, you know what? I need to get I lost $100,000 in the bar business. So I had to get on my feet first. But once I put together, a couple commission checks and paid, I think it was $5,000 to go through that course. I was fine. Now I was in real estate, but I was broke. So I was wholesaling, trying to work with people. And I was, doing all right, but by the way, now I got 3 jobs. I'm selling radio by day. I'm bartending still at another bar now, a night or two a week because I'm broke, trying to pay off $100,000 of debt, and well, not 100, but some of it was my money, but pay off debt.
Yeah.
And now I'm out on weekends, Saturday and Sunday morning, looking for
real estate.
Yeah, real estate. So I got 3 jobs now. But then another client came along, and they were a developer. A high-end multifamily developer, and they were developing properties that they wanted to advertise to our audience. And I got very friendly with the broker on the job, and I ended up I would hang out with him a lot just to kill time. And I hated radio sales. I hated the act of selling. Which is weird because I'm kind of a natural relationship salesperson. I just felt cheap. But I enjoyed the relationships. I enjoyed the people I met, the businesses that became my clients. I enjoyed that part of it. So I spent a lot of time with this one guy, Jamie.
You want to know the one thing that separates investors who win from investors who get wiped out? It's not the deal flow. It's not connections. It's this. Due diligence, not the skim the deck and hope for the best kind. The real due diligence. Asking the real questions like, who is the sponsor and their team? What is their experience? Does the sponsor have verified exits? What is the downside of the scenario? Are there any hidden fees? If you can't answer these questions and more, you're not really investing. You're speculating or possibly gambling. I built a tool to fix that. It's called the Passive Investor Due Diligence Scorecard. It's free, it's interactive, it's 125 questions across 4 categories. Who is the sponsor's team? What is the market? What are the financials? And what are the potential red flags? You check off what you verify, score updates live. It gives you a clear assessment to help you find out if this is the right fit for your family. It takes about 20 minutes or less, and it could save you years of regret. Use it before you wire another dollar, because the questions you don't ask are the ones that cost you the most.
Jamie Santora, by the way, still my real estate broker today.
No, really?
My license with him. Yeah, he's still a buddy of mine. And in fact, he's now bidding. His family has a construction company, and they build self-storage and mostly storage. And they're bidding on a development job for us right now in outside of Atlantic City, New Jersey. So like, you just never know, like the full circle.
Yeah,
right?
That's really cool.
He introduced me to this other guy that I ended up working for a bunch of years, who's still a buddy of mine too. and I became the national sales director for it was a 1031 exchange tenant in common syndication company. That's a mouthful. But
Wow.
basically, we were buying office and multifamily properties and syndicating them. But all of our investors came through securities broker dealers as 1031 exchanges.
Wow.
So we were selling it as a security, with the security wrapper around it. But it was real estate. It was 1031 exchange. So did that for a couple of years. Thought I would do that forever because I loved it. And then 2008 and 9 hit, and that game was over. We went from a $4 billion industry to like 150 or 250, some crazy low number, almost overnight. And it was time to reinvent again. And I ended up at a tax lien seminar where I met my still partner in a business. And we ended up not buying tax liens because phenomenal business, hobby is what I'd say. Super secure. You can't scale it, really. I mean, maybe today you can. You couldn't back then. I don't know, maybe technology you could today. But it didn't seem like something 20 years ago we could really scale.
Yeah.
18 years, whatever it was, 16, 17, 18 years ago. And but we stumbled onto something else, distressed debt, and we ended up buying charged off residential second mortgages. You talk about a niche within a niche.
That's it. That is a very, very nice.
Nuts. They thought we were crazy, but there was just something to it. I'll skip over the story, but we ended up starting a business, putting our own money to work, and then started to raise money, and then we ended up becoming, and we still are, one of the largest buyers of distressed second mortgages in the country.
Wow.
We buy right from banks. We do it the right way. We kind of cleaned up the industry. It was very wild west industry, that secondary and tertiary market of that product, which is paper. You're buying it for paper. But it was wild west. There was some stuff that was fraudulent happening. There's still a bunch of lawsuits going on with some of the former top players. And we came in and we cleaned it up. I'm like, this just isn't right. And we cleaned it up for the most part. We became one of the most trusted names. But even then, Scott, we faced adversity because the CFPB was created in, I don't know, 2014-ish, somewhere in there, 15, 16. The banks stopped selling debt. It wasn't worth it for them. So I realized this business we were building was really just a hobby. Very lucrative hobby. I love this hobby. We're still in it. We're back. We've been back for a while, but in the meantime, I had to find something else, and that's when I found my other love, which is self-storage. So
that's pretty cool.
And I found it through an email. Probably for all the conferences I went to, I was on this guy Scott Meyer's list, and I get this email from him. I don't know who he is, and the subject was toilets without. It was more
tenants without toilets.
Real estate without tenants, toilets, trash.
Yeah.
Standard line, right?
Yeah, that's the catchphrase, right?
Right,
yeah.
But it's not true. But it got me to open the email because you have tenants. You need tenants, obviously, in storage, and sometimes they leave behind trash. Hopefully, they don't, but sometimes they do. But there's no toilets. We don't deal with toilets.
Every once in a while, they leave you a toilet.
They might. I don't deal with it, but they might. You deal with other issues, but they're not. Yeah. You know what's great about self-storage? We have no emergencies. We really don't have emergencies. But what got me was not that line. That got me to open the email. I was a sucker for that.
Yeah.
There was a line in a paragraph in the body of the email that said 80% of all 80% of all storage facilities are owned by mom and pop investors. What? I would have thought, and I'm telling you, when I opened this email in 2015, 16, 17, whatever it was, I don't know, probably 16 or 17. I don't know the first thing about self-storage. I've been at every commercial real estate conference probably you can be at because of my 1031 exchange days. I've never saw a self-storage operator, never knew anything about it, never rented a self-storage unit. If you'd asked me what it was at that time, I probably would have said, I don't know, those places with a bunch of garages that have orange and red doors. I don't know. Public
storage. Yeah.
Red being CubeSmart, who, I'm sitting outside of Philadelphia, like right next to Villanova University, so due west of Philadelphia. and 15 minutes up the road is CubeSmart's
Headquarters. Yeah.
We see a lot of CubeSmart around here. We see a lot of Extra Space. We see a lot of the big three, right? The big REIT.
Yeah.
I've never noticed a self-storage facility other than that because I was never in the market for one. And if I guarantee you I drove by a million of them, just never noticed them is what I'm trying to say. So 80% mom and pop? What? Because to me, they had to be the big three. And so that got me interested. I started reading more. I ended up buying his home study course, which, I'm pretty sure it came with a binder and CDs. The traditional guru.
Tapes.
They were CDs. They were DVDs. But I'm on a laptop that doesn't even take a DVD anymore in 2016 or 17 or whatever. So it's kind of like that old guru course. But it was so fascinating. I read the binder on it. I couldn't stop reading it. But my business is going down again. We're letting employees go because we can't buy anything. We didn't buy debt for 3 years.
Wow.
So it's really hard to stay in business when you're not buying the product that you're selling. So I couldn't go to their seminars, their in-person 3-day academies, they call them. Because they had to travel to them. And I was like, I can't justify spending money to go see if this is something I want to do. If it's in Philadelphia, fine, but it's not. Well, a year later, they come to Philadelphia. And I've already paid to be there because I bought the course. So now I'm out of excuses. So I got to go. So I go, it's, Thursday, Friday, Saturday type of thing. And after day one, I came home. My wife's like, how was it? I'm like, my mind is blown. I couldn't sleep that night. I was excited about it. It was as excited as I was about the first second mortgage distress debt seminar I went to. And so I was super excited for the next 2 days. And then, the rest is history. I ended up investing in mentorship and training. I went through that course, brought my partner along. Picked up another partner since, and we've grown the company. We've now bought, 20 facilities. We've got a couple more under contract. We're about 75% finished building our first, which isn't even self-storage. It's pro storage, which is a B2B solution. So self-storage is for you and I to store our trailers, also known as, garbage, crap. Junk.
Crap.
B2B, that's B2C. B2B is, business owners, contractors, big units, tall ceilings. I always say,
more like contractor bay type stuff.
Yeah. But you're a multifamily guy, I think, right?
Yeah.
So the 2-bedroom apartment, if you will, and self-storage is 10 by 10. It's 100 square feet. And that's the most common unit size. We've got some unit sizes in the 300 and 400 square foot range, but that's like the 4-bedroom apartment, right? You might have one of them in your portfolio.
That's not many.
It's very rare to find a 4-bedroom apartment. It's very rare to find a 400 square foot self-storage unit.
Yeah.
Our smallest unit is 450 square feet, right? We go up to 1,000 square feet. You got the tall ceilings, big doors with the man door on the side. You could drive an RV into these things. In fact, they're one of our customers, and Mr. Yacht Captain boats are a significant customer for us as well. People
would think so.
And boats that want to store them inside, out of the elements. We're big enough for contractors, for boats, RVs. We got toy cars in them because we own one facility that already like this. As well as just business owners, they have extra inventory they want to store, or think of the catering company.
Yeah.
Has to have that retail office for the client to sell the wedding and the corporate event at 30, 35, $40 a square foot in the retail center, right? Or wherever that office is. Mm-hmm. But you don't want to pay that much to store your tables and chairs and racks of dishes and glasses, right? Mm-hmm. So you need a little mini warehouse for that. And that's what we're building, is these kind of truly mini warehouses, not self-storage. So we've got that going on. We've got another one. I mentioned that we got land outside of Atlantic City, New Jersey. That first one's in Greenville, South Carolina. So 7 years later, this all started in 2018, I guess. So 7 years later, 20 facilities we're building. And now I've gone from sitting in the chair, listening to the guru on the stage, to standing on the stage at that academy, teaching it. Now my company does all the fulfillment and the mentoring and educating of the students that come through just like I did.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's really
cool.
full circle. And then now we just launched, you can see my background if you're watching on YouTube or whatever, is Storage Moguls is a digital platform we're launching, which is AI powered. And it's really cool. So we're taking everything that we've learned over the years and repackaging it differently so people can learn better. It's kind of like using adult learning theory. So now instead of just watching a video of me saying, and this is how you calculate the NOI, and this is that, and this is how you market, and this is how you do this, and this is how you find it. We have those videos. We broke them down into shorter installments, but we also are using Google Notebook LM, if you're familiar with that. I don't know if you're an AI guy at all, but
yeah, I go down that rabbit hole on a daily basis. I try not to because I just go in all these ridiculous directions.
Funny you say that. I always tell people, because I actually launched an AI podcast as well with a guru. I'm like, it's called Successful Idiots. I'm the idiot. I represent us, the people, and asking the questions of the guru. But I always tell people, like, AI is amazing, but I'm going to give you a warning. All right. It should come with a warning label, because if you're an entrepreneur, it is so addictive, especially you get into Claude and Manus and the shit it can do. Yeah. Incredible. But the Google Notebook LM, you can take any piece of content, any source, podcast, article, paper you've written, document, doesn't matter. And it can create multiple ways for you to consume it. So infographics, videos, podcast. It creates a podcast for you. It's just absolutely wild, as well as, flashcards and quizzes and I said infographic, mind map. I mean, you name it. It's so you can now consume all these things differently, and it's more of a fully immersive experience. So that's what we're up to. That's how I got into this. That's where we are today. So I told you, anything's. I'm an open book.
Matter of fact, right before this, an hour before that, I was talking to a guy that, and we're doing some things together. He's setting me up with a lot of AI things, because I've kind of taken a step back, because a friend of mine told me, he said, look, when you're going into the AI, have a purpose.
Yes.
You got to have a one-track mind. You got to niche down on what you're doing, because you will go in 1,000 different directions. And he said, look, I know who you are. You're going to all of a sudden have like 50 different things you're working on at the same time, and you're going to drive everyone crazy.
One of the coolest and most dangerous things about all of the AI tools is they ask you when you're conversing with it, would you like me to do this? Would you like to know that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Rabbit hole you can go down. So your advice is on point. Have a specific purpose. First of all, content and context is everything. So load it up with all of the information you have about whatever you're trying to do or learn or whatever, produce. Give it everything, hold nothing back. And then in your prompt, be as specific as you can. Really, the saying in life, begin with the end in mind.
Yes.
That's the best advice I can give anyone for prompting, is tell it what it looks like, the perfect outcome of whatever you're using the tool for is. Start with that. When we're done conversing here, this is what I want. And it's so funny. It makes us, we talk about this on our podcast, it makes you a better communicator in life. I joke with this guy's name's Peter Swain that we go by. I prompt my kids now for simple things. Like, hey, I need you to do this. Here's what success looks like.
Yeah. I love it. Actually,
we go into some of the tools they'll need.
I'm going to use that on the boat, because I think we got to do a meeting. We're going to have a guest trip shortly, and everything go, okay, this is what we're doing. Here's what success looks like. I think that's fantastic, because
it's such a better way to communicate. Now everybody understands
this is the goal.
What the ultimate goal is, not just where it is or why or whatever, but what it looks like. And then they can compute along the way. It's great for people too.
Yeah, because I'm a big Benjamin Hardy fan, and I've had him on the podcast and everything. It's like, be that future self. Instead of working
Be your
towards
future
it.
self now,
Just
yeah.
be that already. Like that goal is already done. Who is that did that?
So
You know,
you're a Ben Hardy guy. You must be a Dan Sullivan guy.
yeah,
Right. So
most definitely.
I'm a member of Strategic Coach. I go once a quarter to the workshops. If you think about it, Dan Sullivan was on this way before AI.
Yeah,
His impact filter for any project literally has you just talk about what success looks like and why it's so important. So I've actually incorporated that into my AI tools with Claude. Is like it walks me through I'm using the Strategic Coach impact filter format for everything
yeah.
we do.
Yeah, I did that with because I wanted to get better at pitch decks and just being able to like talk in front of people. So I put in Oren Clef's
Oren Claff, pitch anything? Yeah,
yeah, pitch anything, and
the strong method.
yeah, I had the pleasure of watching him speak one time, and he just like it blew me away just because like 5 minutes in he's totally like guiding you. He's like, look, he's 5 minutes in, he's like, I haven't even talked about what we want, what we were doing here. And then 10 minutes in, he's like, I still haven't mentioned the product. 12 minutes in, and he goes, now it's 12 minutes in, 15 minutes in now, I'm just about done, and this is what we're doing, but I bet you want that.
Yeah, because he walks through the problem and then the opportunity.
Yeah. No,
He's
it's
a master. I've been to his workshops as well.
man, I felt like I was on fire when I was like, like edge of my seat and stuff, and he was talking about I don't know, some marble restoration or something that was even like you cannot make exciting.
And I'll tell you, if you're doing webinars, Expert Secrets by Russell Brunson.
Yes,
Amazing.
Expert Secrets. Yes, that was on my list. I have not read that one, but I will definitely.
Well worth it. I would move it to the top.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to do that because all those things, make a big difference. But there's the rabbit hole of AI. It's real, guys. Be careful. Especially if you're of the same.
It can enhance, like we're talking about creating pitch decks here, right?
Yeah.
It enhances not just from a product output.
Yeah.
Because you can follow an Oren Claff and a Russell Brunson framework. So, but it cuts the timeline in half.
Yeah.
Sorry, in a tenth, right? Instead of you figuring out, it's you saying, I want to build, here's my material, everything I want to share about X, a multifamily, a storage facility, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I want to build a pitch deck the way Oren Claff and Russell Brunson would.
Yeah.
Give me the framework from Oren Claff and the stacking of Russell Brunson, for instance.
Yeah.
And it's going to start to build your pitch deck from the material.
Yeah, and then you just keep asking the questions and shorten it, and make it this and that and everything. It definitely optimized, and it's done a lot of great things for me. I've even used it for just even planning family trips. Like what's there to do going around here? Boom, you get a giant list. This is what we like. This is what we
covered that in one of our episodes.
We want to eat. Love the name, by the way. Successfully, yeah. That's fantastic.
But you nailed it. Like vacation.
Yeah.
When I say tell it everything, like, are we morning people or do we like to sleep in? Are we hotel breakfast people? Or do we like to get out and roam around the area? And
some of us like this, some of us like that. What kind of food do we like? We outdoors. We indoor people. What kind of activities do we like to do? Yeah. What kind of nature walk?
Is there a way for us to split so that Scott can go to the museum he wants to go to while his wife gets to go do this?
Yeah.
And therefore, there's no tug of war over what do we do that day. We split.
Yeah. There's something to do when everybody's sleeping in and Scott wants to get up early and do something. There's a coffee shop nearby. Is there this and that? All those things are really fantastic. And I've actually used it on the boat as well. Like a lot of times, like just kind of put in like crew situations. Like I have this AI. It's called Nonflict. It's I was at a private equity event, family office event, and a guy was working with a lot of NGOs, and they use it for high level conflict resolution. And I was playing around with it, like I had a crew situation where, and it gave me a lot of great recommendations and stuff. And
That's
it
a
was
great
like,
name for it.
if this doesn't work, yeah, Nonflict. Actually, I'll send you the link because it's a really cool one, because it can go into really, I mean, I think they use it for like high level diplomatic situations, like people are going to invade and they're trying to get people out of there and this kind of stuff or whatever. So, which I thought was cool, because people are using it to do some pretty cool things. And a lot of people still have this big fear of it. The bots are going to take over and everyone's, going to be in Terminator and we're going to be obsolete. And actually I made a video, YouTube video one time about asking AI not to cancel us, just keep us around for the sheer humor of it. Because sure, we've screwed everything up, but we did keep the lights on, on those cold, dark nights, on those hot summers. We kept you guys plugged in. So if you're listening, AI.
I heard something interesting recently. This debate over, if it continues at the pace it's at, in 4 years, its IQ is like 30,000 and ours is, still a mere average
120,
whatever the human race average is, right?
Yeah.
And at some point, the doomsdayers are saying, well, why would it even keep us around? It'll just figure out how to eliminate us. And Neil Tyson deGrasse's opinion on that is, well, I'd like to think it's going to treat the human race like I treat my dog. In other words, it should recognize that we're sentient beings like dogs or monkeys or
whatever,
dolphins, right?
Yeah.
And so we treat them differently than we treat other non-sentient beings. And so if AI treats us the way we treat our dogs, or most of us treat our dogs, I'm not even a dog owner, but you get the point.
Yeah.
Where we feed it, we love it, we walk it, we even it's shit after it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
If AI does that for us, we'll be all right. So there's the doomsday scenario, but I think the more likely scenario is it probably treats us like we treat our dogs.
Well, look at all everything that everyone called doomsday on, Y2K, social media, the internet, the telephone, electricity, the climate change, the electricity,
everything. Yeah.
Everything was going to be the end of the world.
Yep. The end of civilization. Yeah.
I think we will end ourselves long before AI has a chance to do it.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think
we are notoriously there was another thing by Neil deGrasse Tyson, because they were talking about aliens and stuff, and they were asking him about it, and he started laughing, and he's like, well, why haven't they showed, with all the cameras around everywhere, why don't we have pictures of them or something, and also I would like to argue with that person that thinks they're living among us, that they've probably come here and they see us killing each other over stupid things like the way people look, or they eat this, or they're over there, we're over here, and they do this and we don't do that, and we're all killing each other over these stupid things, that they probably went back and said, yeah, there's no intelligent life on Earth.
Well, intelligence, is potentially what they could say, but I think they would recognize that we're sentient. So it just depends on how they treat sentient.
Yeah, I just thought it was funny that he said that, and he was laughing when he said that. So it was obviously a cosmic joke, which I'm a huge fan of Neil deGrasse Tyson anyway, because it doesn't get much better than that, when you see him thinking through things, especially something he hasn't thought about before. So, we should ask him about storage.
Wonder if he stores anything.
Yeah, he probably does. Probably some of those giant telescopes and everything else. But I was going to ask you, one question that I did have is, are you seeing these kind of larger bays become a little more popular? Because I would imagine once a business owner gets to a certain point, they probably buy their own building, or some do, I guess, if they can get past that. Or some of them kind of, how long, what's the lease term usually? Is it like a 2-3 year lease, or is it still on a month to month like a regular self-storage?
So that's the neat thing about what we're doing with small bay, with Pro Storage versus small bay flex. And we like small bay flex too. Small bay flex, slight difference. You probably have 2, 3, maybe 400 square feet of office. And now it's a different lease structure. It's probably a triple net lease structure. So you've got, your triple nets, you're paying for everything, right? And you're working out of there. Do I see the demand change? Let me finish. Sorry. Pro Storage, you can sign a longer lease with us if you want, but we're month to month.
Oh, okay.
So we want to be the business friendly, startup friendly, month to month. You need to, seasonal. You need to expand. Great.
Add one, take one away.
We want to be pro. We're the pro business friendly option. Do I see it growing? I do, for a number of reasons. There's been a couple paradigm shifts that have been happening. The most noticeable for everyone listening is very simple. How do we obtain our goods today? They come to our front door. Mm-hmm. We no longer go to the big box stores to get them.
Yeah.
So the big box has been splintered into little mini boxes everywhere.
Yeah.
And Amazon and Walmart know that. So they are gobbling up. You've all seen the 1 million square foot distribution facilities that go up inside of highways.
Shopping malls.
I drove past one the other day. It's the biggest I've ever seen. It's on 81. Took my daughter to JMU. It looks like she might go there. And we're on our way back, driving up 81 back towards Philadelphia. And I passed one. The thing was the size of the Pentagon. It was unreal. It wasn't even Amazon either. It was Walmart distribution facility. And then I passed 2 or 3 more in the next 2 hours that were all Walmart and Amazon. So they're going up everywhere, but they're regionals. They still got to get the goods to you by tomorrow. So interesting stat. They know that obviously there's a cutoff time. I think it's 2:00. If you order something by 2 p.m. today, Scott, order something, it's 1:40 p.m. right now. You got 20 minutes. If you order it by 2 p.m., they need to get it to you by tomorrow. If they can't get it to you by tomorrow, they know you're expecting that. They know if you can't get it by tomorrow, they're losing 25% of sales. That's the current number. This time next year, they expect that number to be today. If they can't get it to us by today, so by tonight, that 2:00 cutoff, you can't get it by tonight, by 8:00, let's say, you're going to go somewhere else, and you might even go to a store to buy it. 25% of sales is a huge number for them.
That's a huge
way they can achieve
market.
that is through distribution facilities and local warehouse.
Yeah.
How big is that local warehouse? They're figuring that out. It's going to be different in every area. How dense is the population in the area we're trying to deliver in? So what you're seeing is an indirect cascading effect. So who used to be in the 50,000 square foot warehouse that's 5 minutes from your house or 10 minutes from your house? Used to be maybe a couple contractors or one small business. That space, the demand for that space, 20,000, 10,000, 50,000, has doubled. The old business owners that were, as these leases come up, that were inhabiting those facilities, they can't afford it. They're getting pushed out. So there's the demand for what we're building. Not just what we're building, also more small bay flex. You're seeing both built.
Yeah, they are.
So now the question comes down to why yours versus small bay flex or one or the other. What kind of business are you? What kind of person are you? Are you a father-son electrician team? You just need a place to store your truck and your inventory and whatever, and you do all your billing from your dining room table because of technology? You don't need the office.
No.
Are you a bigger team than that? You've got HR, you get this, that, you got a bigger company? You probably need an office. Okay. Well, then you're going to go small bay flex. If you don't need to pay more per square foot because you can do it somewhere else, or maybe you have a virtual bookkeeper and billing system, and you don't have to do anything. You do everything from your kitchen table, and or it's outsourced. Okay, well, you don't need an office. Why are you paying for it? So as we see the demand shift among the consumers and the customers, we're seeing this scenario play out with more localized small bay flex and pro storage options for businesses. And then on top of that, we're seeing AI. This is only theory. We believe these will be our customers, future customers, but we didn't even build our pro forma based on it. I am certain, so is Peter Swain and AI Guru and any other, we're going to see less bigger companies from an employee standpoint and more smaller companies, in particular, more solopreneurs, couplepreneurs, entrepreneurs. They will need our space too.
Yeah, I would be very inclined to agree, especially because with these larger Amazon facilities, and you're going to see a lot more niche and specialized companies. You're going to need those, grooming facilities. You're still going to need the landscaping. You're going to need, people, barbers. You're going to need those personal services that can't really be done by a robot, nor do people really ever want, maybe not at this point, want a robot or anything like that cutting their hair. But you're also looking at, with Amazon and these other companies, the last mile. The last mile is
warehouse.
is you guys,
but that's what we're talking about.
Well, that is you guys. Really, what you're filling the gap with is because, for Amazon, it doesn't make sense to build and make a whole bunch of small facilities. Nope. So it's going to have to be you, and they're going to probably subcontract out a lot of it until they can vertically integrate a lot of it. Which that's what your gap is filling. Is that because that last mile is that 2:00 cutoff.
Yeah.
That's where that comes from, because and unless it makes it to that facility by 2:00 or it's there, you're not getting it.
Yep. And then the last part of this whole thing is, because that's pro storage and self storage, but we're also in IOS, which is industrial outdoor storage, and truck parking. There's a company called Truck Parking Club, for instance. It's like the Airbnb for truckers. Yeah. Trucker, you talk about supply and demand. With everything we're talking about, there's a lot more truckers on the road, and there's a demand for drivers, and there's a demand for truck parking, whether it's nightly, weekly, or monthly. So our space is so unique, and what we teach at Storage Moguls and our platform, which is storagemoguls.ai, if I'm allowed to promote it, is we teach everybody everything. You got to learn self-storage, but if you're going to be in the space, you should learn self-storage, pro storage, small bay flex, iOS, boat and RV parking, truck parking.
It's big in Florida. And I come from a heavy equipment background growing up as a kid, and we had a trucking business in Jamaica and in Texas, and we had all fuel in Jamaica, and then in Texas it was over the road heavy equipment and trash. And truck parking is a big deal. It's
problem.
Everybody's got to park their truck, and you can't park it at your house.
Nope. You got
unless you live in one of those neighborhoods.
But most neighborhoods being built are HOAs.
Yeah.
And so you can't even park your electrician van with your logo on the side, let alone a tractor trailer. And by the way, even if you can, a lot of people don't want to because of theft. Yeah. You're getting your tools stolen, your catalytic converter stolen. That's why they're looking at solutions that we're providing.
Yeah, and then it's a big business, and really you don't need much. It's just really a piece of land that's graded that isn't going to get flooded. You're fine. And you fence it in, you maybe have a security service that comes by and make sure that, the gate doesn't get broken or whatever, But this has been, we went down a lot of rabbit holes here. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, you weren't kidding. We'll talk about anything.
Yeah, great conversations. But for people that want to find out more about Joe Downs and his all the things you got going on with AI and storage and your education platform, and just building all your different flex space and storage, what's the best way for them to find you?
I would love them to find us at storagemoguls.ai. It's we're launching in 4 weeks from today, so sometime mid-April, we'll say. And it's storagemoguls.ai, and my email, if you want to email me, is joe@storagemoguls.ai.
And
You can
well,
register now. You can check it out, and you get a free GPT tool if you.
Nice. We'll put it all that in the show notes, and make sure you guys go and check Joe out. He's got some really cool stuff going on, and feel free to reach out, because he definitely made for a really interesting conversation for me, and I'm definitely going to be following up with him and find out later on how this tool came out and everything else.
Continue it anytime you want, Scott, on that yacht.
Okay, we will do that. We'll make a point of that.
Next winter when it's nice and cold up here. Where were you when it was minus 20 wind chill?
Oh, I think I was in Florida when it was 20 degrees, which is never 20.
Yeah. There was one day here we walked outside. It was 35 degrees. And I was like, it feels freaking great here.
Yeah, you're like, summer's here.
35. Never felt it.
Well, thanks again for this great conversation. I look forward to having you again on, once a little bit later on, once you have everything, your storage tool launched and everything. I look forward to hearing about that.
Been a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Well, thank you so much. This is Scott Kidd, the Yacht Captain Investor Podcast. And it's just a reminder that the best investment you can make is the one you make in yourself. So invest heavily in you. See you next time.